Hey guys, it's Heidi. Welcome back to my channel. And yeah, it has been a very long day for me. Um, I've been awake since 3 o'clock this morning. Went to sleep fairly late last night, and 3 o'clock this morning I was up. I'm tired. Anyway, so Mom was having a problem with her catheter bag yesterday. Her bladder was filling up, and the catheter bag remained empty. So I took her to our local clinic and they flushed her, and it seemed to be working. And they said the sonar thing that she's supposed to have next week on the 31st, she's going to get them to move it until today. This was yesterday. So, yeah. So, off to the hospital this morning. We got there about, I don't know, we left here about 20 past 5. So, we were there about 20 to 6 or something this morning. It was 5:20 to 6, somewhere around there. Anyway, so now we're sitting waiting for the file. And this dear old gentleman in admissions, shame, he must have had a really hard night. Anyway, so he's taking a long time with the lady in front of us. Anyway, she eventually gets her file and she goes, and then it's Mom's turn. So, yeah, we give the card in and the letter, and so he's looking on the computer and he says, but the sonar is only for the 31st. So we said, we understand that, but it was apparently supposed to have been moved until today. So he says, well, okay. So he goes in, he gets out Mom's file, and he starts typing on the computer there. And then all of a sudden, after we fixed up Mom's telephone number and address and what, because he was asking all these questions, then he was working on the computer. Then he was quiet. So I wasn't paying too much attention to what he was doing. So my mother bumps me, and she shows me the man is sleeping. So I thought, no, man, he can't be sleeping. So I look at him. He's not moving. So I look at the computer screen, because I can see the computer screen that he's working on. And the little white arrow, when you move the mouse, that little white arrow is not moving. He's not moving. The white arrow is not moving. So I look at his hand to see if he's actually moving the computer, the mouse, because I know sometimes my mouse gets stuck and you can move it and the arrow doesn't move. That's not moving. Nothing's moving. So I have a look at this gentleman and I'm thinking, now, dude, are you asleep or what? So I start fiddling around on my phone. And then I start speaking loudly to Mom, trying to wake this guy up. And then suddenly he comes up and he carries on the computer. And then I decided I'm going to talk to this gentleman, so try and keep him awake so he can just get done. Anyway, it took him about half an hour or so. But yeah, eventually he must have had a rough night show. Anyway, so we got the file. We went to the X-ray department. And this was not just after 7 this morning that we got there. So I had a look at their hours, and they start at 7:45. So I said to Mom, it's fine. It's about half an hour we've got to wait. So, and we first. So, cool. So I thought, well, that's nice. We can get done nice and early. We can come home nice and early. Ha ha. Anyway, so the woman arrives, and she disappeared, and then she came back just after 8 with Mom's file. And she says, you're scheduled for your sono on the 31st. So I said, yes. But our local clinic said that they are moving it until today because Mom's catheter keeps blocking up and they need to know why. Because, I mean, I can't carry on like this in the middle of the night with her. Anyway. So she disappears again and then she comes back and she says, but Mom's booked at OPD, the outpatients department. Okay, so we go to outpatients department. We go talk there. No, Mom's not booked there. We've got to now go to the emergency section. So I said, okay. So we land up at the emergency section and they eventually, after I don't know how long, they do Mom's observations. They do her blood pressure, the pulse, and the blood. They took blood, prick the finger story, test the blood and all this stuff. And now we're sitting and we're waiting. And we're waiting. And we're waiting. And I'm looking at the people there. There weren't too many. There must have been about not even 10, 12 maybe at the most. So, yeah, and I looked at these people and you can see there's one guy there. He is just sleeping. He's awake, looks around, and he goes back to sleep. And he's tired. You can see he's tired. Well, I understand why he's tired, because he was there since 8 o'clock last night, as well as the other gentleman that was there, I think, at 9 last night. When we left at 3:30 this afternoon, the one guy that had been there since 8 o'clock they'd just seen to him. So 8 o'clock last night until about 3 o'clock this afternoon at the hospital. I mean, do the maths. So 8, I don't know what it is, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. 7, 8, 19 hours at the hospital. Anyway. So yeah, that is that. So eventually, Mom wanted to leave. And they started calling the people because the people weren't being called. And they weren't being called, and they weren't being called, and they weren't being called. And then eventually one person will get called. And we go and we speak to the sister and we said, just how many people in front of Mom, please, just so that we know. So she had a look there. She said, there's 7 in front. So I said, okay, well, let's just stick it out. It's only 7 people. And we're waiting, and we're waiting, and nobody's getting called, and nobody's getting called, and nobody's getting called, and eventually one person will get called. And I started praying. And I've sent messages out on the WhatsApp groups asking the people to please pray, telling them what's happening. And everybody was praying, and some came back and said, well, we hope that Mom at least gets seen to today. I said, yeah, because I don't feel like spending the whole night there as well. Anyway, so that's that. And then Mom wanted to leave. So I said to her, let's just wait another half an hour. Just as well we waited that half an hour. Because in that half an hour, the people started getting called. Because I said, please, just pray that, more doctors will come so that the people can get seen to. Anyway. And, yeah, so that had happened because a whole lot of people actually walked in there. And there were doctors there that had seen to everybody. Now, the doctor that had seen to Mom, I must take my hat off to him. He's a young doctor. He did give me his name. I don't know if I'm allowed to say names here. So he did give me his name. And he was so gentle and nice with Mom. Now, of course, I didn't stick around on the other side of the curtain to watch this catheter getting removed and the new one putting in. That's just creepy. Sorry. There's a reason why you don't nurse your own family. So I stayed on the outside of the curtain. I thought, you do your thing there. I don't want to know nothing about that. Anyway, so yeah, this doctor was so nice with Mom. He took the catheter out and cleaned her up nicely, and then he put the new catheter in. Mom didn't feel anything. When she sat up, to get dressed now, I helped her get dressed. That I did do. And she says she doesn't feel the catheter at all. Where the others have been hurting her, they were uncomfortable. And she's sitting flat and not feeling the catheter. So I said, well, okay, the catheter's in. It's working. So, yeah. Anyway, so I must take my hat off to this doctor. Very nice doctor. Yeah, but it was just the waiting period. And while we were waiting, I was actually thinking about my pastor. Because I was looking at everybody here at the hospital sitting around there. And okay, the lady I was sitting next to. Yeah, no, she was also very entertaining. And yeah, because there was a long bolt thing that had come off somewhere with a big round nut on the end. So I said, somebody's lost the screw. She says they've lost the whole toolbox. So I don't know what was going on there. But it was very interesting. And I thought to myself, what would Chris do? He wouldn't sit quietly here just biding his time waiting for the doctor to pitch up. He would have pulled out of his pocket these little blue and red cards and started evangelizing to these people. That is what he would have done. Anyway, so now I'm looking at these people, and I'm not that type of person. I'll speak to one person, yeah. Sometimes I'll speak to a group of people when we're on mission trips and stuff like that. Or sometimes I'll speak to one person, but I'll speak loud enough, not loud, just loud enough that the people around me can hear me. But I'm talking to one person, and they're all listening. They've got no choice but to hear. That I don't mind doing. And I was thinking, he would have gone and he would have spoken to them, and he would have just asked them whatever he asked them. He's just got a very nice way of dealing with people. And I thought to myself, he wouldn't let opportunity slip through his hand. And I'd been praying. I said, Lord, let me make the most of every opportunity you give me. And I was also thinking, there's a reason why I'm still sitting at this hospital. Why are we taking so long? Anyway, and then another woman came in. I don't know what happened to her leg. It's in plaster. I saw her, greeted her, didn't say much else. And she went and sat one side. And I was thinking, Lord, what do you want me to do? There's obviously a reason why I'm still here. Why is it taking so long? Anyway, so eventually, after Mom had seen the doctor and she was being nebulized, because by this time her chest had closed up. So they put on the nebulizer, and then I took Mom's file and I went to the pharmacy and got her meds. So I thought, well, while you're getting nebulized, let me go get that done, so we don't have to still wait. So I go get her stuff, and on my way back I see this woman again. But now she's sitting, not in the emergency side, she's now sitting where you come in at admissions, not at in the middle there. And I saw her, she looked up and looked at me. I smiled at her and I walked past. God said, go back. And I thought, Lord, he said, go back and pray for her. So I turned around and I looked at her, and I thought, okay, she's going to think I'm mad, but it's fine. And thankfully she understands English. So I spoke to her. And I said to her, I said, this is going to sound crazy. I first asked her if she understood English. Yeah, so I thought, okay, that's good. So I said, I've just walked past you and God's told me to come back and pray for you. And the tears started rolling down her face. And I thought, okay, this is weird. So I didn't know. I thought, Lord, what do I pray? Anyway, so I put my arm around her and I just started praying. I said, asked for healing, asked for comfort and for help for her, finance, whatever it is that she needs. That I ask God just to help her. And I finished up the prayer and I looked at her and I said, you know, Jesus loves you. He really does love you and He's heard your heart. You may not have physically spoken to Him, but He's heard your heart. And then when I went back to go and fetch, I said goodbye to her and I went and fetched Mom. But on the way to Mom, I thought God kept me here at this hospital the whole day to see that woman. And it was a very simple prayer. Nothing elaborate, nothing, anyway. So I just pray that God will always help me to make the most of every opportunity. Anyway, guys, I'm waffling now. And 16 minutes already. Sorry, guys. I hope you guys are still around now. Anyway, I'm going to cut it off here. Lots and lots of love. Bye.